Greetings viewers, if you click the video link, you're here to listen to me talk about the Sig MCX. This specific one is a Virtus model, which they don't make anymore. Everything is now their new Spear line. However, you may get your hands on one used or maybe still new sitting on a shelf at a gun store somewhere, as well as many of the features that I'm going to go over are implemented in the newer design, some of them perhaps even improved upon. So, for those of you with a short attention span like myself, let's do a real quick rundown here. What is this thing? It's an AR. It's got an adjustable short stroke gas piston system. It has two settings. It does not have a buffer tube because it does have a proprietary bolt and recoil management system inside, which makes it really nice in the ability to have this thing super short with a collapsible or folding stock. It is made by Sig, so as long as you don't already have your own various reasons for disliking them, I can tell you it definitely gets my vote. I've never had any issues with this thing. This thing has run awesome for me every time I've used it. And that's it. There's your real short, quick review, so it gets a thumbs up from me. For those of you that want a little bit more of a rundown of some of the features and some of the things I have to say about this gun, then let's get into it. In normal fashion, I'll go from tip to tail here, just try not to miss anything. If I do miss anything, just let me know down below. Obviously, I won't be able to go back and change it in the video, but I can at least put some text in your comment or in the information block. This thing does come with their flash hider on it. I have replaced it. This is a 51 tooth AAC brake on here because it does mate with the suppressor that I own. The barrel on here is cold hammer forged nitride treated. Like I said, it does have an adjustable gas piston right here towards the front of the weapon. It has two settings. You flip it down or up. The indications for which side or what are located right here. There is a plus or minus, and it says down in either direction, so you know which way it's flipped. Plus you're going to use for just standard operation, nothing on the muzzle. If you're going to run it suppressed, run subs, you're going to flip it to the minus. The handguard on this thing is very easily removable. All you do is pop out this front pin, the entire handguard slides off, which gives you access to two bolts here that you can use to remove the barrel, whether you're doing a caliber change, a barrel length change, you're doing a super deep clean, whatever you want to do with that. I do have a video demonstrating breaking down and cleaning this weapon fully if you want to check that out. I'll go over that in greater detail. That's not what we're here for. It does have QD mounts that are built into the handguard here, as well as at the rear, which is very nice. It's not some attachment that's on there that's going to break and fall off. It is made directly into the weapon. The only issue you may run into is if you don't like where they are located, then you may have to make arrangements for that to have them somewhere else on the weapon. This particular weapon system has an ambidextrous mag release. We've got one on this side for activating your index finger for you right-handed shooters out there. If you're shooting lefty or doing some sort of opposite hand transition, we do have a mag release here as well. It does activate the other side, so while I am pushing this, the button on the back side is moving. It does not have an ambidextrous bolt release or bolt hold open. It is all located on one side here. It does have the paddle at the top and then this long bar on the bottom for easy activation if you want to do that with your left trigger finger. So this thing does use standard AR parts as far as triggers go, trigger pins, safety selectors, and grips. So those are interchangeable if you have your favorites that you already like to use, whether it's BCM, Magpul, whatever other brand that you choose. Those will incorporate nicely on here. You can swap those parts to whatever you want. The particular trigger that came on this one is a nice double stage trigger. This is one of the few guns that I have not swapped the trigger out on. It may not be perfect, but it works well, and I haven't found something else that I feel like would be a necessary upgrade to change it. So I do like the trigger on this particular weapon. Again, if you're buying a new Spear model, I can't tell you specifically, I haven't even held one yet, to know what the trigger feels like, so unfortunately I cannot help you there, I'm sorry. Like I mentioned, this weapon does not have a buffer tube because the way the bolt is designed with the springs and the recoil system built into it, it's very nice that you don't have that extra length sticking out of the back. The one thing that I do hate about most ARs, you try and make them as short as possible, and then you're trying to put them in a backpack or you want them in some sort of concealed, small, hidden location, and you're struggling with that buffer tube sticking out of the back. Yes, you can get folders, but again, some of those function while it's folded, and if they do, you're only going to get one round anyway. Others will not. If you put a folder on this, or again, I have the collapsible brace on this particular one, it will function no matter what, with the stock folded or extended, and I think that's a really handy feature. Again, usually we try and get these things short. This is an 11.5-inch barrel on here, so again, I want it nice and small, maneuverable, so the smaller I can get this thing, the better. Again, not having that buffer tube sticking out, is one of my favorite features on this, along with the adjustable gas system. I am a big fan of piston-driven guns, especially running suppressed. I'm not getting all that gas blown into my face. The charging handle that comes on this thing is not great. The one that I had was not ambidextrous. I have replaced it as my one definite recommendation for one of these weapons is the Radian Raptor. It is a very nice ambidextrous charging handle. I have one on here as well as on my MPX. Definitely highly recommended. As far as other aftermarket parts, I am a big fan of Midwest Industries. They do make replacement handguards for these if you do not like the offering that's here, or let's just say you're trying to mix and match and for this particular weapon's gray and you want to do the mix and match with black and have a black handguard that may be a little bit thicker, or you want a longer handguard so you can have a suppressor recessed down into it. They do have that option available. I do like when you're able to get readily made parts from other people for your weapon, again, such as Glock. You can go on basically any website and find parts for it, so that's really nice. It's not like some of the specialty designer Gucci guns that have their own proprietary stuff that they don't want you buying from anybody but them. It is SIG. They are a little bit more expensive. I did buy this several years ago, right before COVID kicked off, so I've had it for a little while now. Like I mentioned, it's run absolutely great, flawless even. I've never had a single malfunction. So speaking of malfunctions and issues, I did a while back watch a video of a police-involved shooting where several officers that are involved, you can see all their different various body cam perspectives. They are running MCX style rifles, and two of them immediately off the bat have malfunctions. They end up transitioning to their pistol. After I watched that video, I thought it was very strange that both of them had the exact same issue at the same exact time. Not a great time to have it, obviously, in the middle of a active situation. Not a training scenario, not good. But as soon as it was over, I immediately had the thought that, man, I bet you people are tearing up SIG in the comments. And sure enough, I went down below and started reading comments, and they were just bashing all over SIG and MCX and saying they're crap, and because of the video they're not going to buy one, and they heard that their cousin's next door neighbor's friend owned one and they didn't like it, so now they don't like it. It's the usual hating on something, and you've got the SIG fanboys that will fight you to the death saying they're the greatest thing in the world. I don't have an allegiance either way. All I can tell you is this weapon that I own is made by SIG, my MPX as well. I love both of them. I have not had any issues with it. I recommend them. I enjoy it. But what I want to do is I want to do a little something here. We're going to switch views. I'm going to go show you some stuff on the computer, and then we're going to come back and talk about it, and then we're going to go to the range.
So as you can see, this is Donut Operator's YouTube channel. These are not my videos. I'm not trying to steal his content for views. However, I am giving credit where credit is due, especially since this is the place where I saw this video to begin with. So if we go to his video tab here, and we scroll down, we find the best vehicle takedown I have ever seen. Hostage rescue on the screen there. So when we go to that video, again, this is not a shooting breakdown. I'm not trying to steal anything. I'm just kind of giving you frame of reference so you can see. I would recommend going and watching this video for yourself. You can see everything in it. However, starting at 6 minutes and 44 seconds, if we hit play, you will see that the guy we're watching has an issue with his rifle, and the guy that he comes up behind has already had an issue. In another segment of the video, they do show his point of view so you can see what he's struggling with. However, I'm just going to play a very short snippet of this. I don't want it to somehow come back and negatively affect my channel. And again, I'm not trying to steal somebody else's stuff. So again, if you are interested, I would recommend going and watching this video for yourself if you have not already seen it. So we can see he's trying to clear a malfunction. It seems that a stage 1 didn't fix it, so he transitions to a pistol. So as you saw right there, this guy ditched his rifle on the ground and transitioned to pistol as well.
So being a man of culture and of science, I feel it's only fair to give this weapon system a chance and again interject my own thoughts and opinions on perhaps what may or may not have happened. Again, I was not there. I do not have all the specific details such as what ammunition that they were running or anything like that, so I'm just going to kind of again do my own science here, if you will. So I just found it very strange that they both had the same malfunction at the same time, essentially during the same scenario. That's just a little strange to me. And again, I'm not a SIG fanboy. I'm not saying that guns don't have malfunctions. It could have been a mag issue, could have been an ammo issue, it could have been anything. Immediately, as soon as I saw what happened, I had my own idea. And again, if we're going to do some science here today, usually you start that out with a hypothesis. Here goes my take on what may or may not have happened. Again, I do not know. Like I mentioned, this weapon does have an adjustable gas piston system. It has a plus and it has a minus. When I put my suppressor on here and I shoot it, I usually flip it down to minus. I don't need as much gas because we are having some back pressure from the suppressor and everything is still functioning just fine. I've not had any issues with it. Shooting it unsuppressed, I leave it on the plus setting. Again, my hypothesis is that their weapons were on the minus gas setting. Again, this is just a guess. I don't know. Perhaps the mystery's already been solved. Somebody out there has the right answer and I'm way off. I don't know, but that's my guess. And again, you can just watch me shoot an AR on the range and I don't feel like that's kind of very fun. So I want to make something out of said shooting. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this out to the range and we're going to shoot it normally. I've got, again, muzzle brake on here, no suppressor. We're going to put some rounds out of it and show you that this thing actually functions normally. We're going to put the suppressor on it and put it in minus mode and shoot, and we'll hopefully see that there's still not any issues. We will then take the suppressor off, leaving it in minus gas mode, and we're going to attempt to shoot the weapon and see if we get any sort of malfunctions. I don't know what's going to happen because it hasn't happened yet, so we'll find out. Perhaps, again, I'm completely wrong. Let's just stop talking and let's go outside and put some rounds out of this thing. All right, so here we are on the range. The ammo that I'm going to be using is some Hornady Tap 60 grain. Again, I do not know what ammunition was being used in the video. However, this is a round that's common to be used in many agencies. So let's get loaded up and see what we can do. All right, so we've got our tap rounds loaded up. We are on the plus gas setting, so the gas piston is tilted down this way. So we know we're set there. So let's put a couple rounds out of it. Seems to be working just fine. Let's go ahead and attach our suppressor. All right, so now again, minus setting, we need to flip down this way. So we are on minus gas with the suppressor attached. A little smoky, but appears to be working just fine. So let's go ahead and remove our suppressor, but we are going to leave it on the minus gas setting. All right, minus setting, we are still flipped down. Our suppressor has been removed. Let's see if we get any malfunctions. Would you look at that? That's a pretty ugly one. That is not going to be fixed by a simple tap rack bang. So let's clear that out and try it again. So this round had some significant damage from the bolt. Not going to try and shoot that. I don't need the case rupturing and causing any issues, but that did a little bit of damage there. Had a failure to feed on that one. Tap rack bang would have fixed that. And there we go. So 2 destroyed rounds later, I think we can go ahead and confirm that myth, or at least in the name of science, say that my hypothesis was correct. We were able to get a couple rounds off before it started getting malfunctions. But again, it's not a matter of blaming the equipment. It's training, it's paying attention. There is a lot of moving parts. A lot of people aren't used to adjusting a gas piston on an AR. So if that is not something that they are readily, constantly doing and training and switching back and forth between, something very easy to mess up or forget to do. And as you can see, it can cause a malfunction. And the last time that you want that to happen is in the middle of a situation where it's life or death. So this is why training and repetition is important. Sometimes it seems silly doing the same thing over and over and over again to some people, but those of you that get it, get it. Know your equipment and its limitations. This is one thing that I will say for having multiple weapons. I know it's really fun and exciting to go out and buy a little bit of everything, but if you're not training with one thing and getting good at it, and you're just gonna suck with a whole bunch of different stuff. So keep that in mind. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and just say that we figured out what the issue was there. It's not a SIG thing, so if you were one of those people bashing SIG in the comments, or you came here to crap all over the rifle and say how bad it sucks, I can't help you. You've already made up your mind, I've already made up mine, so this video isn't here to convince you, it's just to, again, do some things and test some hypotheses and see what happens. So let's go ahead and finish out that mag since we've got the ammo here, and then we'll close out the video. All right, so we are back on the plus gas setting now. Seems like it worked to me. So anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you made it this far, I greatly appreciate you watching. Hopefully I answered any questions you have about this weapon system. If I missed anything, or you just have a question in general, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I will be glad to get back to you as soon as I can with a response. If it is something that is going to take a little bit more than a response in text to answer your question, I'll be glad to make a follow-up video or short to help you get the answer to your question. So anyways, thank you for your time. Have a great day.